Well, hello there. Another week, another video, and this one is actually a pretty long overdue video on things that I got when I went to Milan. Now, as quite a lot of you would know, Milan is actually, pretty much one of the fashion capitals of the world. And I have to say, I really enjoyed going through the high end shops there. I did also make it to the factory outlets, and yeah, I did enjoy myself. I didn't buy a bag for me. I did, help a couple of friends make a couple of purchases, but really it was all pretty much just stuff. What I wound up buying for myself were really just small bits and bobs that I really liked, and that I just kind of fell in love with as I went along. So I'm just going to dive right into this and just show you what I got. Now, the first thing that I got wasn't strictly speaking in Italy, it was somewhere else. It's this really beautiful Hermes bookmark. And it's a really simple piece. I think what they do is they just make a cut that's shaped like a horse head and then they stitch it down. So it is a lot of money for what it's worth, but I was in the airport on my way out. I was in a good mood and I stopped by the Hermes there, and I just sort of thought that it was such a cute thing. And so I've been using this as a bookmark, which I really enjoy. I got this in the orange ash, I think is what the color is called. And I just love the contrast stitching. It's in Epsom leather. And yeah, probably the only time I'm actually going to get a proper Hermes orange color. As you can tell, this is pretty much the same color as your Hermes orange, although it's coming up a lot more yellow on screen. I'm not sure why. But anyway, first purchase of the trip happened before I even left the country for Italy, but I'm very happy with it. What I decided to do when I went to Milan in order to not spend so much was to actually I did a bit of shopping on my first day there, and then I went traveling around. On my first day, I just took the time to explore all the different brands. Italy has so many wonderful bag and shoe brands that are not necessarily high-end, and really enjoyed just finding out more about lots and lots of different things. One brand that I saw when I went into the Galleria was this brand called Santoni. I tried on a pair of mesh white ballet flats there, and I really loved the look of it. But in the end, what happened on my way back was I went to the factory outlets and I kind of scratched my itch for white mesh Santoni flats, which were not cheap, by the way. They were about 800, 900 euros. So pretty much the same price as what you would get for a normal high-end pair of shoes. But when I went to the factory outlets, I stopped by first the Fendi outlet. And for those of you who don't know, I do recommend going to the outlets to shop. It's quite fun. And so my first stop was Fendi, and I saw these beautiful F-fold slingback shoes in this light green, grey sort of color and white. And as you can tell, it's a mesh, right? So and these were on sale for like maybe 200 euros or just under 300 euros, which was a really good price. Just a disclaimer, I have unboxed these. I've brought them to the cobblers, as you can tell, and sold them simply because I've wanted to wear them, and I tend to try and sell all my shoes because of where I am. Now, I do have a similar pair, and this is my light brown cognac colored F-fold heels. They are quite comfy to walk around in. The buckle does scratch me a little bit, but once you get used to it, it's perfectly fine. So I knew that this model would work well for me, and because it had that mesh detail, I just was sort of reminded of the Santoni one, even though I think the Santoni one's probably better made because it seemed like it was hand knotted, right? Which explained the price tag. But this being the price that it was, I just kind of thought I'd get it. Now, Santoni is a brand that I'm not very familiar with, but they were also in the factory outlets, and I went in and I saw these really beautiful cream colored nubuck leather loafers, and they were so pretty. And again, they were on a pretty good sale. So I think these are probably about 600-ish euros. Don't quote me on this because I cannot remember. But these were going for just under 200. They've got these really nice orange hand-stitched leather soles. Unfortunately, as with the other pair, I did have to put a rubber backing on it because of where I am. Like I said, I need these shoes to be able to be a bit more water and rain resistant. So these soles are a very necessary thing. They are so comfortable though, and so beautifully made. I do not regret getting these at all. So yes, Santoni, if any of you are looking for shoes, Italian craftsmanship, I think this is a brand that you can't go very wrong with. So those are my finds from the factory outlet. I do have one more piece. Let me show it to you. And this is again from the Fendi outlet. So when I went into the factory outlet, I think I must have bought about 3 pairs of shoes, a scarf, a handbag, but they were all presents for other people. So I'm not going to show them here. But the one piece that I was quite thrilled by is this beautiful thing here. It's called a pocket emptier, and it's from Fendi. And it's lined in this beautiful soft calfskin leather and inlaid. So it's kind of joined together, and then there's this beautiful FF motif here, which I really love. It's all just covered in leather. So they call this a pocket emptier. This is definitely from a couple of seasons ago because I saw this like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I thought it was really beautiful then. The pricing on that then was not cheap, and even now, I paid about 600 euros for it, which is quite a lot of money, but it's so beautifully made and so just really wonderful. And I thought I could use it to put my jewelry and my earrings at the end of the day. So I do really enjoy these small little pieces, and yeah, I'm looking forward to using it. Oh gosh, and it's on the floor. But yeah, so that was the piece that I got from the Fendi factory, from the Fendi outlet. I'm quite happy with it, quite excited to be able to start using it now that I've shown it on camera. The rest of the pieces were generally bought in Milan, with the exception of the large thing at the back. Now, for those of you who haven't been to any of the shops in Milan, I do recommend going to the Fendi store. It's large, it's beautifully decorated. It's just so vibrant and so colorful, although I'm not really sure if Mario Grazio's Chiuri is going to change any of that. But, the store itself is wonderful and worth visiting. I didn't get anything from Fendi in store because I'd already done that shop at the outlets, but it's just wonderful going in and taking a look. The next place that I went to was Celine, and I spent quite a long time there because I do like Celine shoes. I was trying to look around the store, and in the end, what I got, apart from helping some of my friends get other things, was this. And I don't think a lot of people would be very impressed with this, but I do love this case. It's a pair of sunglasses, and they actually do fit my face quite well. Of course, it's got the Triumph logo at the back. It's not very discreet, but I've had my current pair of sunglasses for about 3 years now. Actually longer than that, probably about 4 or 5 years. So I saw these in store and I thought I could do with a new pair since they're quite old. I don't normally wear very many sunglasses. I try to, but not very often. And so I kind of thought these would be quite a nice shape for me. I love that they come in this leatherette pouch. I don't think it's actually leather, but it's quite a good way of storing your sunglasses, and it's like a little wristlet. So I'm very pleased with this, the fact that you get a sunglasses case, and I've got these new sunglasses from Celine. I did get some decent tax back on it as well, so I did save some money on it. Now, I went into Dior. The Dior store in Milan is currently undergoing renovations, so I didn't quite get to see the store in its full glory. But I did go in and I did get something that I think is quite nice. It was more of an impulse. I'm not really sure if it warrants an impulse buy, but if you know the box, you'll know what it is. It is another piece from the J.W. Anderson collection, which is this beautiful blue and sort of white toned pattern, right? In fact, just hang on a minute. So I am back, and if you remember a few weeks ago or a few months ago, I unboxed this really beautiful garden pattern of the J.W. Anderson creatures in measuring tape styles, and this I thought was so beautiful. And then at the same time, it did occur to me that maybe I should get the companion piece to it, which I thought was this one, because I just sort of thought that this was the day and night version of the same design, and I think it's really cool. Oh, I just love, and the snow bells come out quite well here, I think. So yes, I don't think I'm going to use them on the same bags, but sometimes I do like having the same design in different colorways just to see how they show up. I do have a friend who has a Dior bag. He's a guy, and he got this to tie on his bag handles as a twilly. It goes with the bag quite well. So yeah, in a way it's kind of funny that we've got the same sorts of twillies, but mitzas, sorry, but it's quite nice. Yes, like I said, if you're going to Milan after September, I think the new store will be open, and I think it'll be worth a visit. Yeah, so there is that one street in Milan with all the massive shops, with all the massive headquarters. I got to see Moina, I got to see, I walked into Goya for a little bit, but it was quite crowded, so I didn't stay. There was a queue outside Chanel, so I didn't go in. Loewe was really nice. Bottega Veneta was great. I went into Loro Piana, which was a beautiful store as well. So genuinely, I do recommend going to Milan if you're into all these fashion houses, because it's so fun just going in and seeing what they have to offer in Milan. I think a lot of brands also regard Milan as, one of the big hubs, as it should be for fashion. And so they bring in a lot of really interesting pieces and really nice things. So it was really fun. The one store I did go into, which was large and busy, as they always tend to be in these cities, was Hermes. And I seem to be on a scarf buying kick these days. I'll show you what I got in a bit. The first one is something that I've been looking for quite some time. This is a past season design, but I think it's one of those pieces which is definitely worth looking for and keeping. And in fact, I might actually want to frame this design up. As you can tell, it's a square box, but it's not a very big one, so maybe it will give you an idea as to what it is, as to the format. It's not a full 90 by 90. It's a 70 cm scarf, and I am so happy with this one. Look at that. This is an Alice Shirley design. Tiger and a 70 centimeter scarf. Now, if you want to look for Hermes scarf designs, I think you should go look at a channel like Cranley Place. I love watching all the videos that the lady who runs that channel puts up, because she goes through all the scarves and I think she loves it. This, I thought, was such a beautiful pattern of the tiger amongst the foliage, and I love this colorway because it's just so natural and green. So I think I might well just frame this up because it's such a beautiful design. I can't see myself using a 70 by 70 in real life, to be honest, but I just love the design, and I don't think I've had a Alice Shirley design in my collection yet, so I did want to get it. and I just love the green and the orange sort of pattern. So 70 by 70. The one thing I immediately noticed, which the essay did admit to, is that the 70 by 70 centimeter scarf seems to be treated more as a summertime scarf. So the silk is actually a lot thinner and lighter. Not that it's worse quality, it's just fine. Oops, sorry, I was just gonna. So this weave, for instance, on the Dior midsole, it's like you can tell it's silk, but it's sort of slightly rougher. This is just really smooth and soft, not in a bad way, right? It doesn't feel thin. And I was assured that despite the weight and the feel of it, it actually is the same, the quality of the silk still the same. I don't really know, I'm not a silk quality connoisseur, but I just love how lightweight it feels compared to the normal scarf, and it just definitely feels so fine. I mean, it just goes to show, even on the reverse of the scarf, the print still comes through really vividly as opposed to the front. But yeah, I might frame this up. What do you guys think? What have you used your Hermes silk scarves for? Maybe just let me know down below. So that was silk product number 1. Silk product number 2 is a current season, and well, when I got it, it was a new season. Right now it's current season. Sorry, I took a while to film this video, but it is this beautiful scarf. I think it's called Rewilding Nature. They are meant to have a square format of it, but basically this scarf is this twilly is meant to be the twilly version of a square. Well, this is the twilly version. There is going to be a square format coming out. Now, the reason why I got this was because I thought the reds and the blues were really nice and vibrant. It's got that whole primary color themed aesthetic to it. So I just really loved the view of it. And I thought at that time I had my Bolide 1923 with me in store. And so, as you know, that Bolide is blue with some red accents, and I thought this would just go really, really well as a twilly on that, but of course it would go very well on quite a lot of my other bags too. So very happy with this piece. I love the Japanese style design to it. It reminds me of another design called Millefeuille en Soie, I think. It was a Japanese-ish design that was released in 2 seasons ago, and didn't get any of the designs from any of the formats from that design, but it's fine. But this reminded me of that, and I'm really very happy. Look at the little purple birds. Anyway, so that is my foray into the Hermes store in Milan. Like I said, it was really crowded. They didn't really have very many people to sort of help me out. I think a lot of this, they were just very, very busy in store. So when I went in a second time at the end of the day just to get a small leather good, which I didn't end up getting actually because I got 2 silk pieces. So the sales associate who finally got to me after about 20 minutes of waiting was really nice. But I did have to go back a second time, and then I did have to wait a while more. So it was a really, really busy store. Okay, after enough nattering and enough shopping, I went to the airport. Word to the wise, if you are still watching this in the summer of 2026 and you're going into Europe, immigration and emigration are terrible because they're onboarding a new system. I'm hoping that things get better soon. But anyway, after a rather frenzied sort of run through the airport, I made it into an Hermes at the airport. This is one of those impulse things that I really shouldn't have gotten, which I don't really regret at the same time. Let me explain. I do have a friend who's looking for a nice cashmere scarf and thought she'd treat herself with an Hermes one, and I was sort of going through the different designs with her in store. At the same time, I did also see a bag in display in the Hermes store, and the sales associate was really nice, and she was like, oh, let me show it to you. You can buy it if you want. What other bags do you want? And I felt really bad because I didn't actually need or want any of the bags that they had in store. So I just said, oh no, it's all right. I just want a scarf. And she took out all these beautiful scarves. And my friend wasn't really replying. I sort of settled on this design. And then my friend, after I sort of said, okay, fine, my friend's not replying, but I'll get it. I'll get this scarf. And if she wants it, I'll pass it on to her. And otherwise, I'll just keep it for myself. So I didn't start out thinking that I would get this scarf, but in the end, I did decide to get it. And now, as it turns out, I am going to hold on to this because clearly my friend decided that she didn't really need the scarf after all. What I will say is, yes, if you aren't prepared to pay Hermes prices, it's absolutely 100% no shame in that. I'm not really sure what possesses me to spend Hermes prices on these products, but I fully understood why she decided against buying it, and it's something. In fact, honestly, if I could, maybe I could just give it to her, but another story for another day. But I just love this cashmere scarf, which I know is a bit incongruous for the summertime because this is 100% sort of cashmere. I think it's a wool cashmere blend, actually. No, 100% cashmere. It is a blue and beige sort of pattern, and it's reversible. So I thought this would be really, really versatile for winter or spring seasons. I've always wanted one of these just so I could wrap it around my neck and just so it'd be really warm. And it's quite a nice size. And the one thing I do love about it is there's a little leather patch here that says Hermes. Otherwise, you can't tell what design it is, right? And I just love how intricate it looks and how beautiful it feels. I know Hermes products are probably made in Scotland. There is apparently a factory that does all of this. And yeah, not really beautiful. I'm glad I got one from Hermes, but I do want to explore that brand as well when I get the chance. So this again was at the airport, so I paid the tax-free price on it without having to claim my tax back. The one good thing about Europe now is that you can get the tax back quite easily. It was really a breeze compared to the immigration stuff. I spent an hour at immigration and it was a bit of a nightmare. So I made up for it with a beautiful cashmere scarf. Anyway, that's it for my very long, rambly unboxing video. I hope you enjoy this, and like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you do with your Hermes scarves, and let me know what else you've bought this season. Alright, see you next time. Bye.